What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to be taking an in-depth look at Twinblast. Now, since Twinblast rework, I've been fairly underwhelmed with his kit. I think he does have some cool features about him, but I really, if you watched my predictions video or whenever I was talking about the patch notes, I was like, oh, Twinblast meta for sure, and I definitely called that one wrong. Now, before we really get into the test, let's kind of talk about the two different types of ranged ADCs. You have really, two distinct types. You've got Durango, Grim, and Revenant. Those are kit ADCs. Sure, they're very heavy on basic attacks, and, even though Revenant, they kind of call him an ability carry, his basic attacks are still, king. But you really have two different types of ADCs. You've got the ones that use their kit to get kills, and then you've got the ones that just tie a rubber band around their attack button. And those have always been Murdock, Sparrow, and Twinblast. Sure, they can utilize their kit to secure kills or, maybe even produce more damage, things like that. But they're pretty much just 100% basic damage killers. And again, Grim, you've got a lot of tools to help secure kills. You've got that great slow, you can block abilities, he's got that ultimate. Revenant's kind of the same way, he pops in, throws his Scar, throws his Obliterate, and then finishes you off with that last round. Durango can really utilize that kit, shoot you with his ultimate, load his rad round, slow you down with his boomerang, and, boom, you take that ton of burst damage and you're dead. So, there are really those two type of categories, and I kind of feel Twinblast is in between the two right now. He's not really a kit hero, but his kit is very helpful. He does have this new kind of crit bullet system where you have no control over that. With Durango, you load your rad rounds, you have 100% control over when you get that burst damage. But with Twinblast, you don't really have that control unless you get 11 hits, wait for your 12th, and then go in on something, which that might be a strategy going in the future, but since you cannot activate this ability, it's just kind of a real passive ability. I just really don't see Twinblast. He's kind of in that in-between. He's a hybrid hero right now, and I don't think Paragon had very successful hybrid heroes. Look at Yin. Yin is an absolute monster in the right situation, but in the wrong situation, she's, and this is really kind of where I feel about these hybrid type heroes, where, they don't have a designed role that they're very good at. They're kind of just good at both type of things. But, again, let's get into this test and really see where Twinblast falls. Now, how I'm going to do this test is I'm going to test several different points with that high damage build, because that's what I'm looking for, is just that damage. I'm going to start out with Heavy Hitter, and I'm 19 points into Agility. You can see the stats right here, and let's just see what Twinblast will do. Now, it takes me 5.694 seconds to do my full rotation, so that's 24 hits, and I hit for 870 basic damage in that time. And what I've done is I've just simply, counted the number of hits and added them together. Pretty standard stuff. Now, again, I'm going to have to kind of address this later on, but I do not get Fangtooth, and then I end up taking him, so the very last test I'm going to do, it's off by 4 power, but again, we can address that when the time comes. Now, I'm going to do the exact same test with Murdock. Murdock and Twinblast have a very similar damage scaling and, just the way the hero performs. Of course, Twinblast has always fired a little faster and done just a little bit less damage. And Murdock, of course, he's the slowest firing with the most damage. So that pattern kind of continues, but I'm going to go ahead and add up the damage from the exact same amount of time. And I do 10 hits for 931 damage. Now, Murdock is hitting for 61 more damage, which it just so happens that's the exact same amount that Twinblast first shot is dealing damage for. So, that that's really a big deal. You know, that's that 75% damage hit. So with Murdock, you are doing more damage just flat out with basically nothing but heavy hitter on. Next, I'm going to do a test at level 15 with 21 points in, allowing me to get Shatter Golem and heavy hitter. And I do the same thing. I go for 24 hits with Twinblast. That's a full rotation of his kit. It takes 5.567 seconds and does a total of 1,356 damage, which is 486 more damage than, you know, the rank 10 with 19 points in. But, you know, of course, that's leveling up. Now, I do this exact same test with Murdock, same cards, same amount of time, and just add the point, or add the damage up just exactly the same as I did before, and I do a total of 1,705 damage. Now, this is 349 more damage than Twinblast, but in my opinion, the big takeaway here is, in the time it took Twinblast to do 24 shots, Murdock did 10 in the first test, but in the second test, Murdock did 11. So that means Murdock is getting more attack speed, even though the attack speed is the same. You know, you can't always just go off of 100% of the numbers. You know, you have to test these things out. And Murdock is actually gaining attack speed faster than Twinblast. Now, my last test is with that full damage build, and you can see it here. I've got 25 points in agility, 6 points in vitality, and I'm just going to go in on this raptor again. And, of course, my full rotation of my kit is a little bit quicker at 5.503 seconds, and I hit for a total of 3,221 damage. Now, I have taken Fangtooth once already, so I do have 4 extra power than I will on my Murdock, which, you know, after I did this test, I realized it, and, you know, it kind of, that kind of threw things off. But Murdock should be doing 4 more damage per attack, basically. So, you know, I'm not going to figure that in, but I am at a disadvantage with Murdock in this test. Now, here we are looking at the Murdock. You can see the abilities, the ability trees are the same, everything like that. And after the exact same amount of time, that 5.503 seconds, I hit for 3510 damage, which, remember, I am at a slight disadvantage. But again, I hit for 1 more attack than I did at the previous test. So I, again, am still building faster attack speed than Twinblast, which, you know, that's never been the case. So that rework has changed the attack scaling, or the, you know, attack speed scaling for Twinblast. Now, this is 289 more damage with Murdock with this final build on, everything like that, which it's also missing that 4 power, which if you figure that in, it's 337 damage, but I'm not going to put that on the screen because, you know, that's just math and it might be a little bit different, but roughly it would be 337 damage more if I would have got that Fangtooth. But like I said, it's really no big deal, and you can just clearly see that Murdock is doing more damage all the way around. He's getting faster attack speed scaling, which that also is a little bit of an issue. I think that maybe Twinblast having these double attacks, it might actually be slowing him down because, you know, just the way the mechanics are working, things like that. It might not be an actual event that should be happening. You know, he should have that more attack speed than Murdock. Not exactly sure, but I just gotta say, I am definitely underwhelmed with Twinblast. We can see the damage is, you know, it's there. The damage is there. I would say it's pretty close to the lines it used to be with damage, where, you know, you had a little bit more damage with Murdock, but you had a little faster attack speed with Twinblast. I think you still have a little bit more damage with Murdock, but a little less attack speed with Twinblast. Now, this test really showed me that Twinblast damage is good on stationary targets. You know, if you miss every other shot, which, you know, a lot of players that are new to ADC, you know, I'm one of y'all guys. I don't play a whole lot of ADC, so I miss shots occasionally. But with Twinblast, it's critical that you hit both shots, because if you miss one shot with Twinblast, you're only doing a portion of your damage, especially if you miss the first shot, because the first shot also applies that on-hit ability. So if you're running something like Trapper and you miss your first shot, they're not getting trapped. You know, they're only getting trapped from that second shot, and they're only taking 25% damage. So it's absolutely huge that you don't miss shots with Twinblast, and since he's got such a fast attack speed, it's much easier to miss shots with Twinblast. So, I don't know, I really am a little bit underwhelmed with Twinblast. I really thought, you know, it was going to be a Twinblast meta, but as of right now, I think he's probably the most underwhelming ADC in my opinion. I really like his kit, really like the way that he looks. There's nothing about him that I don't like, except the fact that he doesn't feel consistent with damage, especially with these, you know, the semi-rad rounds that are randomly proc. You can't really time them. You have no control over when they're being used. You know, it just does not feel solid to me. So, again, I'm just kind of underwhelmed with Twinblast right now, but this test definitely shows the damage is there if you can hit your targets. If you struggle with hitting your targets, the damage isn't there. And, you know, that's really what this test is about, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up my Twinblast testing guide. So, I really hope this video helped kind of show y'all that, hey, Twinblast, the damage is there. If you're very underwhelmed like I am, it might be because you're missing shots, which, you know, I probably am. But it's so much easier to miss shots with him because, you know, he shoots so fast. So, again, guys, I really hope this video helped, and if you did enjoy, show me some love. Leave me a comment, think about subscribing, join our Discord if you haven't done it so, and if you want to see any other testing, definitely let me know, guys. But, again, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next video.